Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel. Now we want to make the camera rig that we saw at the beginning. So for that, I'm actually going to have an object that moves with the character, and then we can affect exactly how it moves instead of just relying on the camera pointer. So I'll turn on the grid, and I'm going to make a cube, and this cube will move to the player, but only left and right, so that we can jump and move like forwards and backwards, and it won't follow in that way, but only left and right. So let's put on a chip so we have some logic. And we need a camera, so let's put a camera down first. And if we scope in with L1 and X, we're now looking through the camera, and you can see by the imp it has the camera icon. That means we're still in the camera, and we can, any changes, any movements we make in here, that will be where it ends up. So now if I use L1 and circle, that's where the camera is now. So we can adjust it by just going in and moving it around. But we want it to go where the actual player is. So let's go give it a tag. So a tag is basically like a reference point in the scene. So let's use L1 and triangle on there, and we'll put it in there like that. And we'll give it a name. We'll just say player. And then in here, we want this cube to follow to that position. So let's use a follower. Cool, so we want full damping, so, well, let's just do this first. Let's set that to player. And now it will move to the player, but it will kind of shove it out of the way because it's collidable. So let's turn off collision. Make that a bit faster. You can see it kind of wobbling around. That's because the damping is low. Damping is its ability to slow down when it gets there. So if we turn that up, it actually affects the speed because the strength is lower. So if we just have fairly high strength and then damping a little higher, it will kind of do a nice slowing down part when it gets there. And now if we play, then you can see the camera is following the character just fine, but you could teleport to the character if you prefer, but this gives you a nice little bit of kind of smoothing to it. But also we want to not have it move in depth, which is the Z direction, so let's put the Z strength to 0, and we don't want it to go up and down with the character either. Because that can be a bit nauseating, and it's kind of not in keeping with this style of classic game. So if we turn strength in Y down as well, let's adjust the character. So now it's following left and right. If we come closer and further away, it doesn't follow, and if we jump, nothing happens either, but it just goes left and right with the character. So that's cool. One last thing though is, if let's just make the cube invisible. If we die with the character by falling off a cliff and we respawn, the cube doesn't know it's respawned, so it's not jumping to this position. So it's got to slowly make its way over there. Right, so when this spawns, we want this cube to teleport to it. So let's go here, and we get a timeline because we want to have this do something just right at the start of when this spawns. So a timeline will do that, and then it will turn itself off when it gets to the end. So we just make this short. And I'll expand out with L1 and right, and now you can see like 1 second is really long in this view. So in here we want to teleport with a teleporter, and we want to target that same tag, the player tag. So now it would be instantly there, but we only want that to be on when the player actually respawns. So we'll just use a keyframe in here to turn on the teleporter, and now if we play time, let's pin that to the screen as well. Then it snaps to there, but then it won't continue snapping to the player. And it will work exactly the same as it was working. And if we die over here, it will just be, the camera view will be instantly back to the player. So that's spot on. We might want to tweak the camera view now though. So this will be kind of the center line of our scene. So then when we place checkpoints and stuff, we'll just have to make sure it's still in that center line. So if we adjust this so that the bottom of the scene is just on the bottom edge of the screen, then that will stay on the bottom edge of the screen, and that's fine. But then if we have a checkpoint over here that's not positioned correctly, like that, so if we put it like at the front over here, then when we respawn, we'll respawn in a different spot. So if we go over here, so we teleported to that new spot which was too far forwards. So we want that to be in the kind of same center that we had before. So if we adjust it now, so you can have some hidden objects, you can just power this off. And because we have preview invisibility off, we can see it in edit mode. So if we put this player there, and then I'll adjust the camera, so that's the bottom again. Right, so now let's put this on that center line as well. Okay, so if we just fall off the front, and then that'll go back to the original starting position, and the bottom of the scene is still on the bottom. And if we go into that checkpoint and then die, that's in that same center, so we still get the same kind of framing for the camera.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.